Episode 110 of the Wilderness Podcast is brought to you by our Patreon supporters. Support the show at patreon.com/The Wilderness Podcast. Our supporter of the week is Julius Schmidt. We're also brought to you by Audible. Go to audibletrial.com/wild to get a free month and a free audiobook. Welcome to episode 110 of the Wilderness Podcast. I am your host, Dilz, and with me is Deagin.
Hey, how's it going?
Following suit from the last, it seems like 3 weeks now, it's, again, kind of a lighter week. We got one dev blog talking about the Portal Nexus Room and some other things. We see the concurrent player count on old school RuneScape continue to climb, hitting a new record high, actually today. Mod Kieren on Twitter brings up a conversation in regards to resizing the spells in the spell book that we talked about last week, was it? And finally, our friend Lynx Titan getting closer to maxing out every single skill. So we can talk about that a little bit. And when I say maxing out, I mean 200 mil experience.
Yep. Capping out on that experience.
Yep, exactly. Anyways, before we dive into that, let's dive into what you did this week. Anything exciting going on?
I guess so. So, real life related, I started that new job.
Cool. That's exciting.
Yeah. I don't know if I explained it before, but it's just like an outdoor store, I guess, dealing with camping and hiking and stuff like that.
Yeah. It's a store that I'm familiar with. You can buy a bunch of, as you said, outdoor clothing. You can get like biking pants and underwear with the padded butt cheek protection.
Yeah, tents, hammocks, everything like outdoor. I don't know about fishing rods.
Probably not. Wait, there's one thing that you had told me that I thought was kind of funny.
Yeah,
you put on your resume that you're on the Wilderness Podcast.
Yeah, fuck yeah. I guess maybe I should specify that on my resume. What was it? Because I'm young, haven't worked too much. I have like recent jobs and stuff, but then I have volunteer work that I did throughout high school. And then one of them is co-host the Wilderness Podcast. And after I got like this job, I was like, oh shit, it says the Wilderness, this is outdoor. Do they think I'm like a big hiking aficionado? Like I'm a co-host of the Wilderness Podcast, like
podcast all about camping.
Yeah. But really it's like, yeah, so you have a podcast about camping? It's RuneScape. It's actually on mobile right now. We're peaking. Thankfully, they haven't asked me about it, but I'll tell them straight up. I don't care. I'll flex on them. I'll be like, "Yo, check this out."
Your show's about American politics.
Actually, we might want to just like go out and cut out everything where I've talked bad about working at that grocery store, and then like this. I don't want them to be like, "Huh, okay, well, I guess he likes his place right now, but." What about him? You know what I mean?
We should continue to listen.
Yeah.
The best part is it's in the first 10 minutes of the show, so it's not like they have to... It's right in the middle of it where you have to get an hour in.
My goddamn boss! That bitch! Like, just going in. Yeah, anyways. So, that's cool. And I started playing other games. Like, I guess. I'm still playing RuneScape.
It's good?
Yeah. I'll say... I don't want to just, like, jump back and forth, but I started playing this game that I tried when it first came out called Warframe.
Yeah, I've heard of that. That's a free-to-play MMORPG.
Destiny.
Yeah, that's what I heard it compared to, that it's like a free Destiny where it's...
Freemium Destiny.
Yeah, where there's even though Destiny's kind of a freemium-esque as well.
Yeah, freemium, but you gotta pay for it. But I shouldn't be saying this because the game sucks, but temporarily you can get the first thing of Destiny 2 for free.
That's right. I'm probably gonna get that.
Don't.
I loved Destiny 1. That was the problem. Through all of its faults, I did thoroughly enjoy lots of Destiny 1. I have so many hours clocked on that
But that's
game.
like, man, I really like alcohol. Even though, like, when I was addicted to it, and I was drinking and driving, I had liver failure, I was hospitalized, alcohol was a good time. I liked getting drunk all the time.
You think of all the good times. You think of all the good times with it. You don't think about the mornings after and
exactly
the money spent on it. Yeah, Destiny can be kind of related to that, can it?
Yeah.
But there's a lot of good things that I did love about Destiny. The rating, and I've talked about it before, rating was so well done in that game. Some of the best raids I've ever done in any game were from that.
Yeah, but I mean, most games have like WoW, new expansions, shit, but the rating's kind of cool. It's whatever. Yeah, I don't know. I've tried Warframe when it first came out, and it was so bad. It was so bad. I spent 4 hours downloading and patching it, and then I did the very basic tutorial shit, and then I'm like, this game is so clunky, and it's just it's awful, and I just uninstalled it, and then my buddy was like, yo, they came up with a big update, you should try it out, and I was like, no. And he's like, dude, trust me, the game's it's not the same. It's you know what I mean? It's a whole new, they've redone literally every aspect of the game.
Okay.
And I was like, you know what, I'll humor you, and then next thing you know, it's all I've really been playing, for this weekend and shit, I've been playing it nonstop.
Yeah, so you're hooked.
Yeah. It's super weird, though, and I'll, segue this into RuneScape. I feel like Path of Exile, Warframe, and RuneScape, exist in the same realm of, they're free games you can play that are super complex, and the developers care about those games.
Okay,
to a weird extent where you're well, if you guys don't know, Path of Exile's ARPG, similar to Diablo, those grindy games. You know what RuneScape is, and we just describe Warframe. And they're in this weird world where they all have something that's you kind of compare it to this, but you should play the free version. Hey, if you play Diablo 3, honestly, go play Path of Exile, because if you dump 100 hours into both of them, you're going to get way more of a reward playing Path of Exile, because the game's way more in depth. The dev team really cares about the game,
whereas Blizzard likes to drop
immortals. It's the same thing with RuneScape, right? If you're going to dump 1,000 hours, because it's an MMO, let's just scale the number, even 100 hours into an MMO, it's why would you? I guess RuneScape might be different because it's a unique MMO, but if you're going to dump a bunch of time into an MMO, you should probably do it with RuneScape, because you get way more out of it than say WoW.
Yeah, it's true, because WoW, basically a lot of your achievements get wiped.
After, 6 months, you're oh, I gotta play again and catch up.
Yeah.
There's actually, RuneScape, there's no such thing as catching up.
No, yeah, you play at your own pace.
Yeah.
Whereas WoW, there's a lot of times when I was playing that game, and if you don't know, they come out with an expansion, every
2 years?
Every 2 years, and it's a long time, it is, but when that new expansion comes out, all your items and weapons are basically obsolete.
Yeah.
For the most part. I don't know how...
yeah, they are.
Yeah, okay, so...
Even, multiple times within those 2 years, though, they'll come out with a new raid that, is, 30... All the items are 30% better, so you're oh, okay, now I gotta go get those. And, you're kind of, air quotes, reset, because you want to have the best gear. So, you're raiding, you're not, a super hardcore raider, but you raid, kind of seriously, and you're doing, heroic raids, a upgraded version of just typical raids. You would want to have the best gear that you can get without playing, every single day, all day.
Yeah. But the good thing about the difference between when a new raid comes out is at least the gear you have will help you in that new raid. Whereas when a new expansion comes out, you can now, all the level cap has been increased.
Yep.
So let's say you're level 70, I'm going way back, but let's say you're level 70 and the new expansion comes out. As soon as you get to level 71, all the 71 common gear is going to outclass your 70 top tier rating gear for the most part.
Yeah, I know what you mean, yeah.
Yeah. They become throwaways real quickly.
Yeah.
So my problem with WoW is a lot of times when I would jump back into it, I found myself, I'd be coming in right at the end of an expansion.
Yep.
So things are dying down, and the excitement's, people have been playing it for 2 years now, and they're just kind of bored with the expansion, so they're just kind of putting in time till the next one comes out.
Yep. Gearing up alts. But, yeah, so it's kind of if you're gonna play WoW, honestly, try RuneScape. And then, same thing with Warframe. People say oh, if you're gonna play Destiny, try Warframe. That game was way more complex, and it's way more rewarding after you hit X amount of hours. You know what I mean? And Path of Exile, especially, that's a game I have 300 plus hours in, and I'm still every time I play every new season, I'll dump in 50 hours. I'm not super hard at core, but I'll get to the end game of that, but you learn so much every time you play. And, but they all have the same issue where the games are super complex, small dev team that cares a lot, but you have to figure out everything on your own.
Yep, okay.
playing like Warframe made me feel fucking blessed that RuneScape doesn't have another currency that you can like buy.
So you like as if like bonds don't even act
or
as a
like
currency.
gems, right? Like so, let's say like Clash of Clans, you have your gold and then you have your gems, like on a mobile game.
Yeah, okay.
So Path of Exile has that, but it's all cosmetics, right?
Okay.
You can't buy any advantage, but Warframe is very mobile-like, where you can buy like weapons and you can buy gear and you can buy like extra inventory space so you can have more of that, like buy more of that, like. And they don't explain anything, and so my issue was like, after playing for like 12 hours, and I like went and unlocked all these weapons, because there's like a lot of time gating in the game, where like, oh, I want to use a new weapon. Well, grind all the shit out, collect it all, start building it, come back in 12 hours, or you can pay, gems to rush it. But like, you can trade for those gems, I guess, for the, it's called platinum, but like, yeah, for the other currency. But I was like kind of pissed, because I'm like, I've already put in like this whole weekend, and now like realizing that like I have all the weapons unlocked, like at my level, I have to start buying it with real money now, and then I like spend like an hour looking into it, and it's like, no, you don't have, like, you know what I mean?
You can get around it by getting the resources and materials to build these weapons.
So you have to like buy. So if you want, like, let's say you want like a new weapon, you can either buy a blueprint
with in-game gold.
Yeah, some of them are like the good, like the high tier ones, you have to buy off other players, or you farm them yourself for the blueprint drop.
Yeah. But
then there's also like resources you'd have to grind to make it.
Yep.
So like, as of right now, like I'm not super far into it, I'm pretty big new, but like you go to like the marketplace. The thing is, you go to the weapon and it says like buy it for this many gems or platinum. And you're like, what? Then you click it, and then in the bottom it says blueprint is for like gold, and you know what I mean. So it's like they make it like you have to like look at everything to find where the blueprint is. You know what I mean? So you buy it with like in-game currency, not real money. Like
so
they hide it pretty much.
So as a new player, you're gonna get confused and think the only way of buying it is with real life money.
Exactly. And I was like bitching to my one buddy, being like, dude, you didn't fucking tell me that. Now I have to spend $10 to try out a weapon.
Yeah.
That I have to level up, and he was like, no, wait, chill. You know what I mean? Like, check out the wiki. Just start using the wiki. Pretend it's RuneScape. I'm like, okay, fine. And it made me realize that, like, Jesus Christ, like RuneScape, they could have easily done something like that, which would it's really effective. Like, when I play this Warframe game, I feel so pressured to spend money because no matter what I do, they're like, hey, you want like a new like character you can play? I'm watering it down because I don't think anyone really plays the game, but
no, I don't.
You want to play as a new character? It's going to take you 3.5 days after you grinded all the materials. Literally, like you click a button, now you got to sit there and wait 3.5 days total, or 50 or 100 plat. Boom, you know what I mean? Give us like $3 and you can have it here right now. You know what I mean? No matter what you do, they kind of like, here's a little workaround.
And then once you start getting more invested into the game, you could start seeing, you want the new weapon, and you're like, I have no problem grinding for it, but I also $10. It's $10.
But
that's
here's
not
the
that
thing:
much money.
The meta of the game, which my buddies were telling me, is once a week or maybe once a day they have 75% off, so you can get like $20 worth of. You can spend $20 and get $60 worth of like currency. You see, like,
yeah,
you're like, dude. So you can kind of like play the game. You can play the system. I'm like, really? So, and I always make a joke with my one buddy about this, but like, it's $60. I'm spending 20. I'm making $40. Is that how it's? No, you're spending $20. You're not making money. You're still giving. You know what I mean? It's like a ruse that they can that they're pretty good at, because like my buddies are like, dude, trust me, it's worth it. So once a week, I just drop $20 on this game. So like, you know what I mean?
So I win in the end.
Yeah.
It's all strategic so that you feel that way.
$80 a month. Oh, I play the game for like a year. Almost $1,000 of the game. Like,
yeah.
But that's actually like, it's so effective. It's like, dude, it's like, man, you get so much out of it though. Trust me. Like, well, if I ever feel like I'm like, oh, dude, I'm going to do it. That's when I'm just done with it. Right.
Yeah.
Because I don't like spending money on fucking free-to-play games, because I like RuneScape. I like grinding it out, which like segues to what I did on RuneScape this week, I guess.
Well, I do want to say that like it is a very, it's a good mod. It works the way Warframe and many of these freemium games work.
Yeah.
It's so prevalent because it works, but it's very predatory at the same time. Where again, when I was working construction, I had some friends who were playing. We were all playing Clash of Clans together, and one guy was like, "I don't like $20 isn't that big of a deal. So every paycheck, I'm going to drop like $20." It's really not that big of a deal. It's like, what, 2 McDonald's meals? I'll just skip those this week. You start falling into that habit where you're just spending $20 a week.
Yep.
Yeah, opposed to RuneScape, where we're starting to see this kind of model disappearing. But what, you pay $11 a month for the game? You're not like free-to-play players, they lose some of the content's locked behind it. But it's not like free-to-play players can only get to level 20.
Yeah.
They can, if they want, they can get 99 and all the free-to-play skills. It can be considered its own separate game.
And it's weird because when they made the change of the friends list, where they took out the ignore and they added it to the friends list, it's like a little clickable thing.
Yep.
I was thinking, like, I might have even said, like, okay, Jagex, you're putting bonds in our face a little bit too much. You know what I mean? Like, I was kind of, that's what I was thinking, that, like, I don't want to, like, I hate having to see, like, bonds.
Yeah.
Like, anything where it's, like, spend extra money on a game that you're already spending money on. Like, I hate all that shit. But then you, like, go to a game that, like, really abuses it, and it feels like RuneScape, learning about the game and figuring everything out is, like, it's pretty obscure, and it's weird, but it comes from, like, it's just an old game.
Yeah.
This game is pretty new. It gets reworked, like, every year. They pick a piece of content, and they, like, revamp and make it better.
Cool.
But the game's really obscure, but it's all hidden behind, like, a veil of, like, pay to win, but, like, no one in the community, people that are, like, invested in the game, were like, it's not pay to win, it's just pay to advance. You're still locked behind, like, your character level, like, it's called a mastery level, it's like your combat level equivalent, I guess. So they kind of justify it, but, you know, you're like, it's not, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like they make the game obscure, like, hard to figure out stuff, just because there is that like, one of my friends who started playing with me, and they have, like, one of the best characters with, like, the best, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They straight up, like, started playing the game, just dropped $10, bought, like a full, like, they Googled a really good setup for shit they want to do. They went, put some money in the game, and then went ahead and bought everything. And then I'm like, how'd you get all that shit? And like, oh, I just did this, this, and this. So then I go and do what they tell me to do. And it's like, yeah, no, you're going to have to grind for like 8 hours in game. But then now you got to wait like 4 days or 3.5. I'm like, okay, obviously you just fucking bought the shit. You know, I don't care. But like, kind of feels shitty being like, you know, I'm way back here. And then they're,
That's what happens, especially if you're playing in a group. You want to stay on par with everyone else, right? Imagine you're playing RuneScape with like 3 friends. You all are on mobile. This is your first time playing it, and you're doing free to play. And then one of your friends just buys a bond, and now he's rocking like full black gold, and you're like, dude,
yeah,
what do you do? Like, how do you have 80 fire making already? Oh, I just bought a bond, spent 3 mil on logs to burn.
Yeah,
dude. So if you're, then you're gonna feel peer pressure to kind of catch up in some way, or you're just going to be demotivated.
Anyways, moving on to RuneScape, though. I don't know if I said it last week, but I got 98 Slayer, and I said I'll do as many bonds. I'll do as many bosses as I can.
Got those bonds on my mind.
Yeah. See how much money I can make? I kind of regret saying that, because the very first task I got was like 270 or something gargoyles.
Sick.
So I had a bunch of Dusk and Dawn, and in the beginning it was fucking misery. It took me it was like a 10-hour task.
Yeah,
it actually took me 10. My method was I went and bought Dragon Claws, brought max strength and max range, and then I would like pot up and go in, kill them, use my D-Claws in the first melee phase, the spec, I'd go for I get like 2-minute kills and stuff pretty quick. Loot, teleport to POH, do it all over again. Rarely I'd need to use food, and rarely I would need to use any prayer potions. So it's like save money and faster like kills per hour. 10 hours though for a boss task.
Well, if you don't have the that one perk unlocked, we get double the kills for killing the boss. You're technically killing 500 of them, right?
No. I'm still killing 275.
I'm saying with like you have to kill those 2 bosses within that fight.
Yeah,
you know
but
what I'm saying.
all that does is speed up
Yeah,
so,
it speeds up a task. I was just, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not, well, if you ever want to get a pet, like, you're getting half the drops. It's like, why are you going to do it if you're going to cut it in half?
Yeah, it seems like a useless thing to pick up. I can see why people get it, but honestly, if you don't feel like doing a whole task there, you might as well just do half of them and then go to the just normal gargoyles.
Yeah, but, you know, I said I'm going to do all my bossing I can.
Committed.
So I went and spent 10 fucking hours doing that. It was like, I made like 10 mil, though. And I also got really lucky. I got 3 granite gloves.
Hey, not bad. What, 500k each?
Yeah, 1 in 500 chance as well.
Yeah.
So it's not bad, but still pretty shit. And then after that, I got some stupid tasks on a random shit. And then Calfight. So now I gotta do like 186 Calfight queens. So I went and grinded out 85 to 86 agility, just so I don't have the summer pie boost for the elite shortcut.
Oh, true.
So now I can just do, once again, do the POH method with Calfight Queen, go in, spec, you know, bring max strength and range, and then spec, smack them up, teleport, save some food, squeeze in sometimes an extra kill per, like, inventory, because typically you're, like, 1 or 2 per trip. Now I'm, like, 2 or 3.
Fair enough. What weapons are you rocking? Because I know the meta for a while, this is going old schooly, though, was just full Varix.
Yeah,
whereas now I see people rocking a god sword and a blowpipe and stuff like that.
Ideally, you want max, like, your max damaging melee gear. It's like all that shit, but
the tentacle whip,
bludgeon.
Oh, bludgeon. Okay.
Yeah, you bring a bludgeon, and then, well, I bring a blowpipe because I don't have like a T-bow or anything like that. But
cool.
Max range melee with a bludgeon and a blowpipe and like rune darts and stuff, just to like squeeze them out quicker.
So what are your thoughts on the Calfight Queen boss?
Well, after like elites and stuff, I don't mind doing the boss. It's that it's just like clearly dated, which is fine. Like I've grown to like, if every boss was Thermo or Cerberus,
yep,
Kraken, God forbid, like it'd be pretty boring. So I really don't mind the change up. Oh, I also had a KBD thing, but that was just a quick task.
Yeah,
can't complain about that. But I don't mind it, and it made me think that like I'll probably want to just quote unquote casually post 99 slay and go for pets.
Yeah.
'Cause I don't really mind sitting down for like doing a couple hours of bossing here and there just through Slayer, and then like I should have been doing this, like, I mean, I would like boss on Slayer obviously, like Cerberus always and stuff like that. But even like, so I have like 800k I think experience left till 99, which honestly I could get done this week, but I'm probably gonna be playing a bunch of Warframed until they try and make me spend money.
You'll be playing RuneScape while you're waiting for the shit to build.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, after 99 Slayer, like that's just when I'm gonna start like going for Hunter and then just maxing. It's kind of the main plan, but I think just like if I start burning out from that, then I'll start pet hunting and stuff.
Yeah, it's always nice to kind of break things up, and
yeah,
you get some money as well. Not so much from Calfight. So you mentioned it was dated, which dated mechanically, right? The mechanics on it are very basic.
Venge, just pray major range, it doesn't matter.
And hope it doesn't hit you hard.
Yeah, stay in melee range.
Yeah, and it's also dated in the sense that the drops, not the greatest money.
Good for Iron Men, though. Like, do you actually have some good Iron Man drops?
Yeah, they did update it since it was originally so the drop table got updated a little bit, but they're not making it like best money per hour. It's nowhere close to Zulrah or Vorkath. It shouldn't
be, though.
Yeah, no, it's true. It shouldn't be.
Yeah.
It's somewhat closer to KBD. You know, the drops on both of them, not the greatest.
KBD's got some it's got 2 good drops. Well, U-logs are nice to get. It's like, what, like 70k? That's a good drop for like KBDs, like U-logs. Like,
yeah.
Cool, it's like 70k, alright. I actually have no idea how much it is. But, Calfight, yeah, you'll get some, like, I don't know, okay-ish drops. But yeah.
You're not walking with crazy profits.
Yep.
Because the big ticket item is what, a dragon chain body?
Those are like, what, 500k now? They crashed pretty hard. I've gotten like 2 dragon 2-handers and a chain body from Calfight Queen so far.
Yeah, so 775k for a dragon chain body.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not bad.
What's the plate body sitting at?
Probably like 50 mil if I had to guess.
15.5 mil.
Oh, okay. I think that's pretty much it though. Like I just been doing Slayer. Like, you know, most of my week was just killing Guardians. Grotesque Guardians. But yeah, what'd you do this week?
Let's see my RuneScape week. Well, actually, real life, I also got a job working at this children's indoor playground thing. I have a buddy who owns a place there and needed someone to work, so I said, okay, I'll work a couple days a week there.
Yeah, get people doing agility for you.
Hope, yeah.
Like you gotta like get like a really big touchscreen TV and then have your account there, but have it on RuneLite, so there's like colorful boxes. Like, hit the colorful boxes, kids. Yeah, we did it. Well, keep going.
Every lap you complete, you get 1 point. It takes you 200 points, and you get a candy bar.
Yeah.
It's not a bad idea.
What you could do is you pair them up. So you have one kid running the obstacle course, but then you have one kid running around the playroom and see who can do it faster. And then they switch, and you make it a competition because there's always going to be those like one or two kids that always have to win. And they're going to just do that for like hours straight. And it's going to be fun.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
And then maybe I could just like put up like cardboard in the middle of the screen so they have no control of my actual character. So I don't have to worry about some kid being like, my older brother plays this game.
I'm typing poop in chat.
I'm going to steal his shit.
Oh.
And now we're reliving the days of the library days where the kids are just stealing all my money on it.
Yeah.
Anyways, we'll see how that goes. I know there's a lot of people listening who do have kids. I am not equipped for kids right now. Not really in the environment of it. So there's a lot of shit smells. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
It's quite often, it's not the most pleasant one.
Yeah.
So I was talking to the guy, my boss, about it, and I was like, I'll give it a week. I'll let you know. I just don't want to have to go clean the washroom or the actual indoor plaything, and there's just shit smeared everywhere. For some reason, I just picture it to be like super caveman where there's vomit and there's like shit.
Like a kid walks in and immediately walks out and he's just covered in just whatever it is.
Yeah, I just picture them to go, like, you know, they all go into the playscape and they look normal. They come down the slide and they're all covered in shit. Yeah. And I'm terrified of it. And
gotta hose them off.
Yeah, I got power washer. So that's a worry, but you know, we'll see how that goes. In the end, I guess there's a story to be had.
Yeah.
It builds character. It'll build character.
Yeah.
Or something. I don't know if that's something I want to be okay with.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of kids, so that's a place that could not work.
It's very loud. On my training shift, you had they were very busy and there's just screaming.
Yeah, that's what they do.
I have to turn and walk away. I'm like, if I bring earplugs, is that offensive? Are the kids gonna be like, you can't deal with my screaming? And then they're throwing
it's
shit
weird
at me?
though, because we were all like that at one point, and I can't imagine they literally run around and scream.
Yeah,
that's not they actually will they just run they'll be on their own running around,
and they just think to themselves, I just want to scream.
It's weird. I don't get it. I like to think I've always just been me, but just smaller.
Yeah, voiced the same in everything.
Yeah, same everything. Swearing the same amount.
Look at these uncivilized youth.
Yeah. Smoking, well now vaping. Hacking Bogarts, the back of daycare.
The child-friendly vapes, that's right. But yeah, well, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. It'd be a child-friendly vape would be a Fortnite character or something.
Yeah, can I just set up a Fortnite booth? Do we just scrap the whole playscape and it's just a TV screen? And hell, I'll play Fortnite and they can just I don't know. They just have to sit there and be quiet.
Yeah, that wouldn't happen.
Yeah,
buy some V-Bucks! Buy V-Bucks!
Whoever's quiet the longest, you get 1 V-Buck every hour of complete silence.
You get 2 if you do agility for me on this game.
Anyways, RuneScape, what have I been doing? Been doing some Slayer as well. School's really picked up. For some reason, it's assignments were all pretty easy, but then in 1 week, every class was like, hey, you got this big assignment where it's recording a 5-minute short story with all these sound effects. It's kind of fun, but God damn, is it hard to write out a script for a 5-minute short story? Because you just you write something, you record, and you're like, oh, that's 2 minutes. So I got to double that up. Or talk very slowly.
Dramatic pauses. That's the trick.
I've been doing that.
Yeah. It would be weird, though, if it never got more difficult.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, I'm about to graduate, and, like, it's weird. Like, it's just, this was easy. This is way too easy.
I am terrified for any interview I ever have to go through. But, yeah, they all just drop on me at once, so that's when I'm, like, slow down on Slayer and stuff, and I'm doing like wood cutting and trying to get that stuff done.
Yeah.
So it's all been pretty fun. We got to do a 2-minute podcast. That was pretty cool. I just took a 2-minute clip of this one.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't make sense at all. There's no context or anything. But
whatever has the least amount of swearing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Doing some Slayer. Got a Dagginoth Kings task now. Or I got Dagginoth task. I'm going to do that all doing the Kings.
Nice. See, when I said I'm going to do my 90 to 99 all through bossing, I was thinking, cool, I'll get some Hellhounds, maybe Kraken, maybe Dagginoth. I haven't gotten Dagginoth in like 2 levels ever since I got the Fremnik Elites.
Yeah.
That should give you a frame of reference whenever that was.
That's a good task because with the Fremnik Elites, you now get noted Dagginoth bones and they sell for what, 10k each?
Yeah, it's bank.
So with 250 of them that I have to kill, that's what, 2.5 mil?
Yeah, snag an archer or B-ring.
Yeah,
huge.
Good chance to get those rings because they're all 128.
Yeah.
It's not a bad task. It's kind of fun because you're having to do these it's like a speed run. You have to kill the one dude before the next one spawns or you're going to start taking damage. So it's like a speed run a bit and the task goes by pretty quickly because it's not super hard.
Yeah.
You're constantly killing one. You don't, if you do it right, you don't have to bank.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to doing that. I also did the Halloween event this week.
Yeah.
So that one was, it was all right. It was the Chambers of Eric. It was pretty straightforward. I didn't really get tripped up too much. You just had to deck out one of his things, and then some demon was there. It's pretty easy, and you get the clown costume and that spider that kind of hangs off your hand a bit.
Yeah.
So it wasn't too bad. It was the one last year was a lot more difficult. I mean, it was fun, but I did get stuck on a few parts and have to pull up the guide. And I like to think that I like to try to do it without using a guide because it is fun until you get stuck on something silly and you're like, oh, I have to right click a specific window and click. You just miss the options, right? You don't know what you exactly have to do. But that one was pretty cool. This one a little bit more straightforward, but wasn't too bad, pretty quick. Yeah, for the most part, I think that was it. Still do my crafting grind, doing a little bit of prayer as well in between, losing a lot of money on that crafting grind. I might end up dropping that master clue because getting all the way to 87 or 86, whatever I need, it's gonna be quite expensive.
Oh yeah,
but yeah, nothing too exciting. Except we had that Connect 4 tournament on the weekend, and that turned out to be a lot of fun. Really enjoyed that one. So we'll go into detail once we get to our little podcast news section. But for now, let's hop into that news.
So this week is it's pretty light on the updates, but we still got something to go over. So the first thing we'll talk about is the Portal Nexus.
That is right. That's something they have teased and talked about before. Basically, the portal rooms all put together.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Within that same hotspot, though, or that room, you can add 2 new amulets, similar to the Glory. There's 2 spots. One is for the Xerix Talisman, and the other one is for the Dig Site Pendant.
Okay, cool. Why do you think they decided to put the Dig Site Pendant specifically on a holder instead of putting it in the jewelry box?
Birdhouses. It's my guess.
The only thing I can think of is that they filled up all the hotkeys and stuff that they could use.
No, there's still a slot for another thing. So they have, I think might be misremembering, but they still have 1 jewelry thing they can put in, but the dig site will only have 3 at best if you have Dragon Slayer 2 and you do the other thing for it, because you have to unlock the teleports.
Okay.
And I think they want them to have 4 or more, I'm guessing. The main thing is that you can configure these hotspots to be left clicks, so you can set a left click to get right onto Fossil Island and just do your birdhouses.
Oh, nice.
And then the Xerix Talisman, I'm assuming just you want to go do Xerix? Go do some Chambers of Xerix, maybe? I don't know, but they added those. So yeah, it's nice.
Do you think they should add that method where you can left click some and put your own teleport there with the Amulet of Glory? Because right now that one, if you left click it, it'll bring you to Edgeville. It's kind of listed in the order that it would be if you were wearing it.
I mean, if it's not already a thing, it should be. I've always, like, you know, I'm going to Edgeville. The odd time I'll go to Draenor, but, like, why would I go to Karamja?
Maybe I would use it when I need a clue scroll, and I have to go to that banana plantation area.
Yeah, I guess.
But besides that, it's Edgeville that I'm going to be using the most.
Yep. But yeah, I guess probably should mention the requirements for some of these. So the Xerix Talisman, you need 72 construction, 1 mahogany plank, gold leaf, Xerix Talisman with no charges in it, and 5,000 lizardman fangs. Ooh. And for the dig site pendant, you need 82 construction, 1 plank, 1 mahogany plank, 1 gold leaf, and 1 curator's medallion. You can get this medallion from Haghelen in Varrock Museum, and you just give him a dig site pendant with that, like, has any number of charges. See if you want to be efficient, you know, give him that one that placeholder you got. But you also give him 250 rubies and 100 cosmic runes and 500 fire, and then he'll give that to you. Ultimate Iron Man can do this. Like, they don't have to be noted. The rubies don't have to be noted. You can give them to him. I don't know why they wouldn't. But let's just say you have, like, you're doing... I don't even know if there's a way to reliably get rubies as an Ultimate Iron Man, but...
Mining the gemstones, but that's not super reliable, right? 'Cause
yeah.
There's so many other ones you could get instead. That's probably a way of doing it, or you just collect it.
But yeah, he'll remember if you don't hand in the full 250, so you're good to go. Oh yeah, so, and with the Portal Nexus, to unlock a certain teleport, you just need whatever the teleport is, times 1,000. So, you know, 1,000 laws, 1,000 fires, 3,000 airs for Varrock, you know, all that good stuff.
Yeah, whereas the portal rooms, it's just 100. Mm-hmm. So it's a bit more expensive, but you can, like myself, I have 3 portal rooms, and if they do add those 2 ancient magic teleports to bring into the wilderness, I'm going to want another portal room.
Yep.
This way I can take all of them out if I want, combine it into the portal nexus where I could have all of them.
Yeah.
So there are 3 tiers. So the first tier, you get 4 teleports, and you need 72 construction to create it. At level 82 construction, you can make the second tier where you get 8 teleports, and then 92, you can have unlimited.
That's nice.
It is pretty nice, and you can choose which teleport is your left click. So if you find you're going to be using one teleport way more than the other ones, you can set that so you just need to left click it. And then if you want to dive into the whole list, you'll have to right click. And within the actual Nexus menu, you have the option to change from teleport mode to scry mode, which would allow you to kind of see what's going on in the area of the teleport. So in your portal room now, you can get the scrying pool, which just sits in the middle, and that would allow you to take a peek into the teleport location of whatever teleports in that one room. Not entirely sure why you would use it. Maybe if you're in a PvP world and you want to look at the Varrock Center.
Or, you know, PvP teleports they want to add.
Yeah, true.
The wilderness ones.
So you can take a peek there. It's kind of cool. It's often forgotten that you can do that. Anyways, with the Portal Nexus, you will be able to do that with all your teleports in that menu.
Mm-hmm. The next set of updates, I don't know what to call them besides the 1-star reviews. So if you look at the 1-star reviews in mobile, for, like, you know, on the Play Store, and I'm assuming like iTunes or whatever Apple does, you see like a lot of negative feedback to the game, or the 1-stars are very like similar.
Yeah.
And they're really, like, some of them are really petty and silly, but they come from, like, I can sympathize with them. The first thing bring up is that they change it so in free-to-play, it'll tell you which skills are members. They're grayed out, and when you hover them, it says members only. I saw a couple 1-stars about that, being like, how do I, why aren't they telling me what I can and can't do?
True.
People are getting frustrated. This one more so, if you log in and you try and type in a name, and it doesn't work, it will suggest names for you.
So the example they give here is if you're trying to take the name Zezma, it's going to be taken. It's taken on every single MMO game.
Yeah.
It's such a... Anyways. But then it would give you 3 randomly suggested names like Scioncraft, Corrupt Wolf, and Summon Ward. Now, I don't know if that's how it would actually work, or if maybe you type in, let's say, Dilz, it's taken, it would give you Dilz 578. A lot of games do that. They add just an arbitrary number behind it that would allow you to keep the name Dilz, but then you have these numbers.
Yeah, I don't know. I do know that a lot of people were like, I tried every single name I could think of. Tupperware, that was taken. Box, who reserved the name Box? You know what I mean? It's like, well, like, come on. And I think because if you're on mobile, you can put in any name you want for most of these games, and they work, and then you just get like a hashtag with it.
True.
Same thing with Discord, BattleNet. Like, that's kind of like the new naming process that it's been adapted.
Yeah, and like with old school RuneScape, well, going back to RuneScape back in 2004, it was so hard to find a unique name. Every name had to like have numbers and stuff behind it at some point. So I would have Bubba 12345, and that one would be okay. Whereas when old school came out, a lot of those names kind of got scrapped because the game just started to die down with RuneScape 3. People started quitting, and they started just purging a bunch of the unused names.
Yep.
Which is why if you came back to the game and you were a returning player and you're on your original account, a lot of your friends list is just going to be bracket, F, number sign, letters, and numbers.
Yeah. Or they got banned.
Or they got banned. But those are names that are now erased from their system. So you are able to take it. And there are, so back with old school RuneScape being released, a lot of people were able to get some of these original names. I can't believe that like 3 years in, I could get Dilz, which is a 4-letter name that seemed pretty crazy.
I have some pretty nice names on like other accounts I have reserved that I was actually really surprised. I got Deagin. I mean, I got that like years ago though. My name used to be Blastoid way back in the day.
True.
Back in pre-EOC times, like when I came back, because I quit when Summoning came out, and I came back for a little bit. I somehow got Blastoid, and then I was like, I like Deagin more, and so I probably could have sold the name. I was really into Pokemon at the time.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. Anyways, so they're gonna make it easier for like a newer person to get a name to play because. Yeah, I saw a lot of frustrations of like, I just said fuck it and just like, you know what I mean? Like they just hit random shit just because they want to like try the game out.
Which I can totally understand. It is frustrating to like have to sit there and think of a name and then you got it and it's taken. So then you try all the variations, Dills with 2 L's, Dills with an S, just Dill, and all of it's taken. You're just like, okay, well then what? Yep. So I get it. People don't really like to have Dills 7842.
Yeah.
They like to have just their unique name.
Yeah, the next thing they did was random events. So they made some changes to them. So you can leave some random events early by talking to the NPC. The Drill Demon, you know, like the sergeant, drill sergeant guy, the Gravedigger, Prison Pete, Beekeeper, all that good stuff.
Beekeeper's such a bad menu.
Yeah, it's awful.
Skipped it every time because of I just like PTSD from a kid not being able to figure it out.
When the game first came out and you couldn't skip them, I don't think I've ever successfully done a Beekeeper.
I don't know.
I just don't know. Something's up with it. But you just get teleported to a random place and shit. It was awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can now leave these early just in case you're having some trouble. And some events you can leave early via the door is the Evil Twin game, the Pinball game, the Surprise Exam, which, come on, do the Surprise Exam. It's like it's the genie.
It's like a genie. You get a little more experience too. It's get some agility experience.
Yeah. And then the pattern recognition game, and then some games you can leave via a portal is the Freaky Forester and Evil Bob. And yeah, the maze event will you'll automatically leave when the timer runs out and your reward is 0. Just, you know, because there have been people that get stuck and it's kind of wonky to like click around in there, or was.
And it'd be frustrating to still have to finish it only to get no reward.
Yep. And the Beekeeper event is removed from mobile, which threw me off pretty hard because
that's weird.
A lot of people actually don't know that you can dismiss it, like a lot of the newer players. In fact, I've seen newer players try and talk to like the mysterious old man and shit.
Okay.
Like, if you go in free to play, you'll see like, hey, speak to me, Rainbow Cat 333. What?
Yeah.
I'm talking to you. Okay, what do you want? And then they disappear and they go, what the fuck was that? Like, you know what I mean? It's like, okay.
As a new player, that's kind of cool, though, eh? An exciting random event that pops up, and you're just completely in the dark of what the hell is going on.
Except for when you click it, and he's like, check out my beehives. And you're like, what the fuck is this? And then you're like in a whole new area, and you're like, this is bullshit. Like, why? What am I doing?
Yeah.
But yeah, so they took that out. And then with the maze event, they also changed it, so only the gates have an open option.
Okay.
Makes it a little bit easier, especially on mobile.
Before many of the walls, you had the
All
option
the walls,
of,
like everything was like a walk-through type thing, and you'd like misclick all the time because of it. You have to like change your camera angles a lot when you're running through it.
Yeah, and sometimes if you're trying to click through a door, you right-click it on PC, and you have like a bunch of options. Open this, open this, open this, and you're like,
yeah.
I thought there's only one door, but then it turns out, no, they made it a little bit more tricky. Again, mainly for bots, but, you know.
Yeah. The pheasants in the Freaky Forest event can still be attacked even if the player has their attack options hidden. The camera no longer sways in the pinball event, and players can use any door to leave the pattern recognition event.
Cool. Do you have a favorite random event?
Genie.
Do you have a favorite one that isn't because of the reward?
No.
Yeah, I'm trying to think too. I don't know if I have one as well.
I don't know. I like the frog one. Get easy frog tokens that I've just been saving.
True. Yeah, I used to collect those as well. Pretty ridiculous. There's a few of the rewards that I do like from it. I enjoy the genie free experience is always nice. Same with the exam. Those are always good.
Evil Bob. Get some magic and fishing experience.
That one, I remember like my first time going through that, being so confused on what I had to do. Because it's all backwards, right? You fish cooked fish, and you have to uncook it on the fire.
Yep.
I just remember being so confused and spending a long time doing it.
There is there was when I would do the mini game, when it shows you where you have to go, you can like spam click the mini map, and a flag will be put, and then you just like start running there. Or if you mistime it, you can at least see the direction your guy moves for a second, or you know what I mean, or like where the map flag is.
Yep.
And you can just like do it pretty quickly like that.
I enjoy the cosmetics from the mime event. Especially now you can use the mime mask with the beret to combine the two. So that's pretty cool. Prison Pete, I like that one only because if someone else was in the cage, you could throw tomatoes at them.
Yep.
That one was fun. And I have a vague memory of the camouflage you get from the drill demon, making you blend in with grass and trees a bit. I don't know if this is just me misremembering.
I think it's a meme.
It
thought doesn't really work too well.
I remember literally being able to see through people. At least I thought.
Oh yeah, they're wearing camouflage. You can't see them.
So I want to get Drill Demon just to get it, and I'm going to go walk through some trees and see if it actually like, oh wow, it does.
It doesn't.
The engine can't do it, can it?
No, you don't actually. You know, it doesn't.
Well,
really
it did fool me as a kid. Yeah. And then lastly, that the Quiz Master. You know that one?
Yep.
If you choose the random mystery box, you have a chance of getting a wieldable baguette. It's very rare to get it.
True. I know you can get like Dragon Medium helmets as a member.
Sorry, it's called a stale baguette, but it is worth 370k.
Yeah, not bad.
So it isn't too bad. That was a new addition they added. Although I always thought it was weird that it came from him and not the sandwich lady, at least as well. Where like you had a small chance of getting the stale baguette, but whatever.
Yeah. I think the community wants a little bit more than a stale baguette from her.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, oddly enough. But anyways, with the All-Stars PvP Championship, they decided to, I guess, follow the PvP hype train that's coming, and they open up Tournament Worlds for a little bit.
Yeah.
If you're unaware of it, it's pretty much a like sandbox-esque version of RuneScape where you can set your own stats. You can get like your food, your potions, your any item from these boxes.
Yeah, the boxes have every single item, and you can practice PvP.
Yep. Just go do whatever you want.
They're always fun, and they're always populated when they come out.
Yep.
I've spent lots of time going there just dicking around. I might do that actually tonight after we're done recording. Yeah, and the reason why they're so popular is because they get taken away after a week.
Yeah. In other news, they made the rune crafting pouches. The icons have been rotated and they've been darkened a bit more due to color blindness from when they break and stuff. And if you're rune crafting and you have, I don't know what color blindness it is, but it was like next to impossible to tell if they were broken or not because it would just get shaded. And if they're being used and all that stuff. So they made that a little bit more easier, which is nice. The herb sack has been added to the herb lore skill guide finally. And if you log into a world with 1,200 or more people, you'll be given a message saying like, hey, you're in a pretty populated world.
Yep.
Dark crabs and anglerfish are now correctly given in the situation when you have no empty inventory space, but you're about to finish your bait stack and thus free up a slot. Okay,
so I guess some people would catch one, lose their last worm or whatever their bait was, but they wouldn't receive the fish.
Yep. I think that's it.
All right, and before we move on, we do have that PvP tournament coming up on Saturday. This is the new tournament they talked about at RuneFest, which is going to be like 1v1s of some content creators and some skilled PvPers. Similar to what they did before, but they talked about wanting to do this more often. And some of the players that are going to be facing off in these 1v1s are Abyss, Alfie, Bodhi, Ditterbitter, Foe, Framed, Pure Spam, Manked, Mika279, MMORPG RS, Mr. Mammal, Perp, Sick Nerd, Skidler, Skill Specs, and Torvesta. So a lot of these are either YouTubers or Twitch streamers. I'm actually going to go back on that and say they're all one of those two. Yeah, we'll be seeing how they're going to do it. They will have their own separate worlds. So if you do look at the world menu right now, there is a few of them that are meant specifically for these guys when they're facing off. The two casters who will be looking over this event will be Revan and Mod Aiza. And the host of this event is going to be Mod Archie.
Of course.
It seemed like it was his announcement. We used to see Mod Archie being more of the community manager.
Yep.
And he also hosted the Q&As, but recently he hasn't really been doing that, and he got moved over to the PvP side of things. He did used to be an RuneScape YouTuber, and he would make PvP content. So it does make sense that he's kind of working in the PvP section of when they started splitting up those teams some more. So yeah, if you're interested, they say it's going to be going for 6 hours, so from 12 p.m. EST to 6 p.m. EST. If I'm not working, I'll be watching it. We can try to get a viewing party together. We can hop on Discord and watch it. Mm-hmm. It is like smack dab in the middle of the day, so it's sometimes difficult for everyone to get in and watch the whole thing. Yeah, these things tend to be pretty good to watch. And
yep. I think I'm going to miss it because I have work, but
I'll
just watch a YouTube video.
Yeah, go back and watch it afterwards.
I'm going to be honest. I'm not really excited for this.
No.
Because there's they're all better PKers than me. Maybe not Iron Mammal, Mr. Mammal, meme.
We're going to see, aren't we?
Yeah, I don't know. You kind of know that, most likely Ditterbitter's going to win. He's, one of the best tri-britters. I know there's different types of, PKing going on, but, kind of look at the brackets and, I watched most of these, YouTubers for good points, but you can kind of tell who will, win. I mean, now that I say that, he'll probably just, lose to, the stupidest thing. No, but no, I don't know. I'm not really too excited. I would honestly be more excited if there was a bigger bracket that had not just content creators, because if you look at all their stuff, they all post the same PKing content, and it's all fighting all RuneScape content creators. They all are releasing that series right now. They're all going to just have this is my point of view of how well I did type of a thing. So if I really want I'll watch Torvesta's or Ditter's videos on how they did, as opposed to I would have preferred it if it was a bunch of if it was literally the best tri-britters or best PKers just bigger bracket. You know what I mean? Like I want to be guaranteed.
I feel like when you're gauging somebody's skill, the best ways is to see how they're performing in their videos, right?
No, because it's a highlight reel.
But I get that. But how are you gonna know if someone's really? What are you gonna do? Just go to the high scores and pick the top people and put them in there?
No, you just have a bigger bracket. There's PvP tournaments before. You can use Deadman mode as a reference.
Yeah. But this is their first tournament. Well, technically, they've done this before, but this is like their first. This is like 1v1.
It's more of like a PR thing. It's not like for like high competition. Like if you're looking for like crazy, like all these fights are all so close, this won't be the best. It'll be entertaining because there's like going to be fights with a big skill gap. So like if you like are curious about PvP, it would be good to see like Mr. Mammal get destroyed by Ditterbitter because he's just like way better than him at tri-breeding. I wouldn't be surprised they had like silly fights too. Like, you know, like it's like next, you know, if it's like it goes down to like an even bracket or even set where it's like, you know, next winner wins, next fight wins.
Well,
they just like now you're all in clown outfits with like
they did mention
rings.
That you can't just be great in one way to win it.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
Because there's going to be, you might go into a bracket and it's going to be, you're both Void Rangers. You're both one defense pures. You know what I mean? They did mention that in RuneFest.
Yeah.
So it's not just going to be max levels with the best gear.
Yeah,
I'm sure
obviously.
some of it will have that, but...
Yeah, there's going to be like, they're not all going to be NH Brid fights, but like in general, maybe it's just who I am. I like to just see like, I want to sit down and know that these guys are like the best at what we're watching. You know what I mean?
Well, I do think a lot of these people are like very skilled and that it will come down to like a lot of these players are some of the best PKers. So
obviously, yeah, because they're known for, you know, they kind of just PK all day every day for money.
So in my opinion, like I'm going to disagree on your side of things where I think it will be as the fights go on, of course, it's going to start getting more and more close because you're going to start the finals, right? You're going to have the the two best people facing off each other. It's not just going to be a steamroll.
I'm not saying it's going to be a steamroll. I don't know. I don't think it'll be as exciting. Maybe because personally, I'm not really invested in like YouTubers for RuneScape.
I'm not either, and I think
if a friend was in there, I'd be like, "Yo, I that would be hilarious. Like that would be really funny to watch go down." Even though like
it'd be a quick.
Oh, he would die instantly.
Yeah.
He'd just be like, stake.com. He'd be like flashing that as he's going down or something. Ironside, all of his sponsors. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm not attached or invested in any of these people. That like, it's like you could put anyone up there. You could put like Billy Bob 222 and I'd be like, okay, well, as long as you guys know he's good.
Yeah, like I'm not invested either, but for me that makes it more exciting because I'm not going in rooting for someone or knowing the exact skill levels. So I'm looking at Abyss and Bodhi, like some of these people that I know are pretty good at it, and I think I have no idea who would win because I don't know who would be better.
Yeah.
To me, they're both just very skilled at it, and I'm like, it's gonna be a close fight.
Yeah. Well,
in my head.
Well, if Abyss had 50 people following him while he was in max gear killing black chinners, but then he has people TBing for him and PJing if anything scary goes down. That's kind of what every time I've looked at his stream, that's what's going down. And I'm like, okay, this isn't PKing. This is harassment.
But I think it's gonna be pretty fun to watch. It's gonna be exciting. This is what I had wanted for a while. These 1v1 tournaments. I do enjoy Deadman mode.
Yeah,
but these are more fun to watch because you can get invested to a player. You could come in watching this being like, I'm a huge Framed fan, so I'm rooting.
Said no one ever, but go on.
So I'm rooting for him to win this tournament. Whereas, let's say myself, since I don't really know too many of these, like I know the names, but I don't actively watch them. I don't watch all their streams and stuff.
Yeah.
I'll watch them from time to time. But going in, I could start watching someone as the fights go on. I can start choosing. Kind of want, Perp to win.
Yeah.
Kind of want.
Oh, he's up 3 anglerfish? I want him to win.
Yeah.
No, wait. Take it back. You know what would make this better? If they added other types of content creators, like artists and podcasters.
Specifically podcasters.
Yeah. But like have like Zahara in there. Just like whatever artists or like Angelscape or something. Just like random people that like are from other sides of the community.
Yeah, but again, this is their first one, so it's a safe way of doing it by choosing people who are YouTubers and
add some Jagex employees.
That's not a bad idea.
Why don't we have a Jagex All-Star where
good.
they all fight each other? That would be pretty sweet.
That's not a bad idea, actually.
Yeah.
But then if someone's really bad, people like, fire him.
That's the best part. That's the best part.
He doesn't even play the game, clearly.
He's all tabbed. He's all tabbed. He's working right now.
Anyways, it is important to note that there is a $30,000 prize pool attached to this.
Given to people who make a living playing a video game, they don't need this. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
You're looking way too hard into this. So there is going to be a lot of competition.
Mm-hmm.
Again, that puts on a lot of pressure on the people playing, especially when you get down to like the semifinals.
Yeah, you're going to see someone like trying to unplug mice. Just like rebinding keyboards and stuff.
So again, it's Saturday, November 24th, 12 p.m. EST, scheduled for a 6-hour event. But that is it for the news, so we'll move on to our community chatter. So first things first, mobile's been out now for a little bit, and every week we've been hitting a new record high for concurrent players currently logged in on Old School RuneScape. And earlier today, actually, we hit 150,000 players.
Yep.
I believe last week was, 120?
140.
Oh, okay. Well, anyways, 150, that's
actually
huge...
no. Yeah, 120, you're right.
So yeah, now we were at 150. This is a peak time for people to be playing, but still, that's awesome to see. Mod Atlas also made a post a little under a week ago saying that they had 50,000 players online at once using the mobile client. So that is pretty damn exciting.
Do you remember when everyone got excited that we had 50,000 people playing Old School?
Yeah.
I still remember being like, dude, guys, look at this. 50,000 people, and now it's like, well, we're getting more than that on mobile. And, you know, a week plus now after it's been released. Like, usually the hype would have been gone by now, right? I'm assuming.
Generally, yeah.
Because I'm assuming, I'm not into the mobile world, but I'm assuming because there's so many apps that get thrown out that it doesn't, like, the games have to catch you quick.
Yeah.
It's like, you can't just kind of like let it sit and more people will come, but it's happening with mobile right now. Is like the longer, like we're still hitting new peaks every single week.
Yeah, which could mean that the hype of it being released has died down a bit, but now the word of mouth is starting to spread. You know what I mean? Some guy is starting to play it. Maybe he's at work and he tells his friends, yo, check out this mobile game. We can play it together on break time. Yep. Whatever. So it is important to note on the RuneScape 3 website, it has both numbers combined. So right now, we currently have 133,000 people on. But you go over to RuneScape 3 and their total player count is 165,000 on. So that's taking about 30,000 people from RuneScape 3 and combining the two of them. A little misleading, but whatever. It's the official RuneScape site, so I get why they combine the two of them.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's cool. It's going to be fun to see how the numbers continue, let's say in a month from now. If we're still hitting these numbers, if we're hitting more record highs, I'm sure we're going to see a drop-off at some point.
Yeah.
But right now, it's still starting to climb.
Yeah. Now this begs the question, how strict should we get for voting?
Interesting.
Because oddly enough, RuneScape's not that democratic. If I could revoke voting rights for everyone in the game but myself, I'd do in a heartbeat. But like,
we miss out on so much good content.
Well, the issue is that with the game center, like I don't know if they made it where you make an account through the game center stuff if you're able to go on PC yet.
Right.
But regardless, I think you need to like have a way to link it to your Jagex and have like an official Jagex like RuneScape profile set up going into the settings. Like I feel like to have a unbiased or a healthy voting. I don't know what the right word is, but like a voting, I don't know, player. I don't how would I say this? Like to have a fair voting system, something that's good, like non-biased, non-selfish. I can't think of the fucking word. I guess the bigger the player base gets, or like at this rate, how like casual / newer player base definitely outweighs the like hardcore and veteran. Like by like at one point that wasn't really too true.
Somewhat. Yeah, maybe.
When the player base was at like 20,000, most people that were playing were like pretty dedicated to the game.
Yeah, they're old. They're trying to grind back to their old accounts, whereas now we see.
I would say like probably 90% of the players are like new or casual. Just at the rate it's expanding, we have like 150,000 playing. Like
it'll be interesting
at once.
It'll be interesting to see. So for their, Christmas or New Year's, they do like a year in review. They go through some of the data. Normally, last year we had an average player was level 73.
I think it was lower than that.
Not too much lower than it was around that area.
Yeah,
so now it's gonna be interesting to see that a month from now, 2 months from now, when they do have a data stream, what the average player will be.
Like 49. I think it was pretty low.
I remember being like kind of. Wasn't too low.
Okay.
So it'll be interesting to see what the new average player is. If it's going to drop down even lower.
Oh, it's going to be so low.
Yeah. Could be.
It's going to be so low. But the main issue is that, especially with a mobile mindset, maybe chalk that up for a good name one day for when horrible votes go through. The mobile mindset. But like... if you come from a game that and you're used to or you prefer freemium pay models because hey, you work a lot, you make a lot of money, or you just don't have the time to do whatever, you know what I mean? Like you have to play RuneScape, or you're playing RuneScape and you enjoy the game, but it's way too much time for how little you have, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then they're like, well, let's just increase the rates across board, like for these skills, like updates that are bad for the longevity of the game will definitely start passing with like newer players and people that like, yeah, I would love to be able to make money while getting my Herblord to 99 really quickly. That sounds amazing. That would be great. But then you're like, that's actually awful for the game,
Yeah, it's a weird one to talk about because a vote could pass, but some of the Jagex mods might get some flack from it. And it gets them kind of second guessing it. Where even though it passes, I could see sometimes them deciding not to roll out with it still.
Yeah.
Even though, it passed, yeah, but we heard the side of the elite community and we kind of get it. Mm-hmm. So I went back and looked at the polls. First off, the polls from last week.
This is the one with the rune pouch and stuff?
The rune pouch, yeah, all of it's passing.
Yeah, of course, which is awful, but okay.
Yeah, it's okay, so all of them are passing across the board. That's the spellbook too.
Yep. And
it's closing in a couple days.
Mm-hmm.
The average voters, the average voter count is about 55,000, 55,000.
That's quite a bit.
Yeah. No, I mean, for past polls before mobile was out, is about 50 to 55,000.
Oh, okay. Really?
Yeah, so this one looks like it'll be hitting about 60,000 or more, because it is a couple days, and we're currently at 57,000 voters for this past one.
Yeah.
So it does seem a small spike up with OSRS mobile being out.
How many more days do we have, though?
3 more.
Okay.
So it might go up a bit more, but I don't think it's going to be hitting, it's not going to be a huge step up from the last polls.
Yeah.
But you do have to give it time for some of these new players who join in to get membership, right?
Yeah.
And then after they get membership, do they even know about the voting thing? Will they remember? Mm-hmm. Do they even care? A lot of people might not just... Why do they care about these updates when they don't even know what the hell is in the game?
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of them are probably avoiding it, but we will have to see. Anyways, the reason I brought up that even though some things pass and Jagex kind of takes a step back and be like, is this still a good idea?
Did they do that?
It's hard to say right now, but Mod Kieren made a post on Twitter trying to get some feedback. So he's one of the lead content developers now. He was like a junior developer before, but he's been promoted since we started doing the show. And yeah, as I said with the polls, one of the questions that passed was, should you be able to rescale some of the spellbook spells? Like, can you remove some of them and they'll make them bigger?
I went on a pretty big rant about that.
Yeah, so you were not for it at all.
Yeah.
And even though it passed, Mod Kieren made this post saying, legit question, because I'm seeing lots of discussion and I want to hear more opinions regarding spellbook filtering. Should we choose not to improve user interaction where the difficult user interaction has become part of the skill meta?
Mm-hmm. So, in my opinion, I have no issues changing the way the UI looks. Like, looks and function are very different, right?
Yeah, sure.
So, I don't care about being able to hide certain spells or even move them around on a mobile screen because it will look better and it functions the way it should, as in, like, you want to click a spell, make sure you can click it.
Yep.
So, let's say I'll use Vorkath because in my opinion, this is the best example of what would benefit. Hey, look at a picture of that. But like just a big crumble undead. No, but Vorkath will like have the biggest. Yeah, it's the best example, no matter what. So if you are like being efficient and you have your room pouch with dash runes, whatever, but you have it set so your room pouch is holding your teleport to house because you have a POH, and you also have it holding your crumble undead because you can do that with combination runes, laws, and deaths. Chaos, same thing. Now, like, on PC, you can, I mean, obviously you're gonna, like, you might misclick, but that's part of, like, you're gonna misclick in general, right? So, like, if that's a big part of the game of just, like, having precision, I guess.
Yeah. Accuracy.
That's fine, but you, like, translate that to, like, should you be able to shift click a player and now their click box is like massive.
True.
Right? Because what if like a monster, right? What if you just double the size of Vorkath because, hey, it's finicky, he might have a finicky hit, you know what I mean? Like, it's the same concept that like, even though, yeah, spell, whatever. You know what I'm trying to say, right?
Yeah.
And then on mobile, just due to like the side, like when you're trying to press the button, like your precision isn't 1 pixel like it is with a cursor.
Mm-hmm.
Like your thumbs are in the way, or your fingers, whatever. And so you'll literally like accidentally teleport a lot, even if you're tapping, or if you're like me and some other people on mobile, when you tap and then it's clicking somewhere else because you got a text message, right? So that being said, I have no issues on mobile where you can hide spells or even move them. Split them up or something like that.
Yeah.
But if you make them bigger, so now like it's like impossible to misclick, it would get to the point now where like that's kind of ridiculous. And then you have to port that to PC because they want functionality to be like streamlined, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which turns into like now like that's just like the meta of like whatever you're doing, you just set your spells so it's really easy. And, like, everything now has to be, like, it effectively lowers the skill ceiling in an area or, like, on a platform that doesn't need it.
Sure.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, it's been like this for a really long time.
But, like, if you misclick on PC, that sucks. If you misclick on mobile, there's a lot of reasons why it happened.
Yeah, fair enough.
So that being said, yeah, make it easier, but don't make it, like, unmistakable.
Yeah. So it is nice to see that Mod Kieren is kind of...
It sounds more like tongue-in-cheek, though. That's what it really came off as. It's like, what, you guys just think, like, that's how the game's just supposed to be, like, annoying to, like, you know what I mean?
See, I never interpreted it that way. I did see him as... They probably had some meeting in the office talking about what kind of things can they bring out for a dev blog. They talked about it. They all were like, yeah, that seems like a good idea. They send it out, then they see on Reddit and Twitter a big backlash, and then Mod Kieren's like, I did not see this. And since he's a lead developer, he kind of wants to be on the same page as the players. He wants to be able to make decisions that he knows what the players want. I see this as him kind of making this, and then he's probably going to go back, read he got a lot of feedback. He's going to go back and read through them, and he's going to go, you know, maybe this is a good point, or these guys don't really have these great of arguments. Hard to say what he's going to think, but like I said, he wants to be on the same page as the high-level community, and those are the ones who are going to be responding to this.
I can totally sympathize with people that are, like, hating me right now, as in, like, you want to play a game for fun, but, like, keep in mind, if you're grinding Vorkath, that's the best moneymaker in the game. Yeah. And if you want that to be easier, which is, like, compared to what was before Vorkath, it was Zulrah. Now think about how much harder was Zulrah than Vorkath is. Vorkath, like, is so... You die because you get a message on Discord, and you're like, what? You know what I mean? Like, Vorkath's super easy. Zulrah's, like, really difficult, and, like, that's where, like, the skill ceiling comes from of, like, actually interacting with the game. Now, imagine if they made it so you can't click on... Well, I guess... Yeah, what if they made it on, like, mobile that you can't click the snakelings on Zulrah? Because your Ring of Recoil is supposed to kill him, right?
Yeah, sure.
What if they made it so your guy wouldn't pass through... like the poison, but you like double click or do some weird shit, right? You can't accidentally pass through it, or like make it so you can't, like, you can switch gear like way easier. Like, the main point I'm making is that these are like the best money makers in the game, or Vorkath is, and it's really easy to get 2 mil an hour, and you spend 2 hours and you can play RuneScape for free for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You just literally, if you're dedicating, like, let's say 2.5, I'm being generous just because of supplies, and maybe you might die once or twice, but 2.5 hours of commitment to have free membership a week, and like, that's it.
Yeah.
Like, do you remember playing like WoW back in the day where you had to play 2.5 hours a day to keep on top of your dailies for reputation?
Yeah, exactly. So that's the thing. You get to a point where, you know, you have new players, well, bonds are so much money, and you're like, you get to a point where you don't need them.
But, like, that's the thing, though. Like, the commitment to, like, for the benefit, right? Like, for the bonds is ridiculous in our favor. I'm like, I think that's a good thing.
Yeah. And it's all about supply and demand, right? Of people purchasing it with real life money.
Yeah, but the main thing is, like, if you're PKing, obviously, like, that's a pretty serious thing. So I do understand people that want it, like, someone's new, right? Someone's new to RuneScape, and, like, they can't click Fire Strike. I can sympathize with that. But if Jagex has, like, a way of streamlining where, like, make it so, like, on mobile and you only can cast Fire Strikes, you can only click Fire Strike, like, in that area, not make it, like, there's only Fire Strike and a big thing, like, so I can sympathize with, like, that, but it'll be heavily exploited and abused.
Oh, yeah, especially as you get higher levels, people are going to figure out ways to make it easier for them.
Yeah.
But... clearly a passionate topic for you.
Yeah, of course, because it is a very slippery slope. Like, it's changing a fundamental part of the game, and a lot of people don't really realize it. But it is nice, I guess, that they, like, there is more discussion to it.
Yeah, like I said, it's like, as you mentioned earlier at the very beginning of the show, Jagex does seem to really care about things, and then when they make a decision where they see the high-level community not being okay with it, they feel like, they don't want to lose touch with the dedicated players.
Yeah.
They want to still be like, this could benefit lower levels, but also what do the high levels... You know what I mean? You got to cater to everyone, which can get very tricky sometimes.
Yeah. It is tricky because the whole, like, devalues my blank meme.
Yeah.
Making this easier makes my achievement less rewarding, which, like, is an awful mindset, because if you're doing something to, like, brag to people, then maybe go work out and not play RuneScape. Do something outside.
But moving on to our last little bit of information or something to talk about. Lynx Titan, a player that's pretty renowned in old school RuneScape. Not to the level as Zezma was and still is, but he is definitely achieved some crazy stuff in old school RuneScape, and he is on his way to being the first player to get 200 million experience in every skill, which is the maximum amount of experience you could actually get.
Mm-hmm.
So he recently got 200 mil in magic, and which leaves him with just mining and agility left to get, which he currently, we'll probably be talking about it soon again, but agility, he's at 194 million, so he's very close, and mining 166 million.
Mining, you imagine, wait. Oh, yeah, agility and mining, yeah.
Yeah, so he's getting pretty close to that next 200 mil in agility, and then lastly, it's going to be mining, so it's pretty crazy to see that he's going to be the first player to get all 200 million.
Yeah, and in RS3, he was one of the first players to do it, too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So quite the commitment, quite the grind.
Funny enough, you might be asking, what is he going to do once he finishes this? He says he wants to start a new account and do it all over again.
Well, you know what? It's
depressing, but good for him, I guess.
Depressing, but if it makes you happy, then who's to stop you? Who's to judge?
Yeah.
And that is all of our...
I have a thing I was going to bring up. Just like a random thing that I just thought of, like, earlier this week. Okay, so how do you feel about And so in the beginning when I was like complaining about Dusk and Dawn, the Grotesque Guardians, and I guess kind of complained about Calphite Queen a bit, instead of like the solution to reworking bosses, why not have some way to do it so you can fight a like quote unquote hard mode of a boss?
The better drops or
like improve drop, mainly like what if they improve like a pet drop rate, but they make the boss fights like ridiculously hard? So let's just say
more mechanics, or they just hit harder with more health.
Either or, whatever. Like I would prefer like more mechanics. So like instead of reworking like Calphite Queen and just baseline, the hard mode would be like a different boss. Like maybe you would run through a Calphite fight a little bit differently. I don't have like a bunch of different ideas for this. But then either have like a third phase of something, or just like make the bosses kind of like how if they were to release them now, because like you do like Cerberus and then you do like KBD.
Yeah, two
very different experiences of like how you kill the boss. You look at any boss in Theater of Blood or Xerix, and you know what I mean. You look at like Callisto. I mean, Callisto is like an old school thing, but like like you can tell that the team has gotten way more creative and have more fun fights.
Yeah. Yeah, as you get better and like just more knowledgeable on, what you can do with bosses, they start rolling out better mechanics.
Yeah. So let's just say random, I'm literally off the top of my head, let's just say you get like 1,000 kills on a boss, right? Or like 3,000 on a boss. Or like you hit enough for the pet drop rate. Like you get a ridiculous amount. Clearly you're dedicated to grinding that boss. Or maybe even if you have a pet to that boss, you could do it. It doesn't matter. You're able to like unlock like a hard variant, which would give you like additional rewards, which you could add. Like, wouldn't it be cool if you remember the Karis? You use it to kill Calphites,
right?
It's a quest item, but it's pretty useless.
Yeah.
What if you could get an attachment from like a hard mode Calphite, which requires you to have to grind it out a bunch, or do something right to unlock it, and then now you have this new weapon that's kind of cool, and like it's kind of like a feat of strength. Similar to like a champion's cape in the terms of like maybe it's good, but maybe it's also like looks badass too. But also would give you more of a reason to grind something, maybe post pet, maybe if you're super unlucky on a pet drop, or like maybe you just like there's that dude has over 50,000 Cerberus kills.
Yeah, true. I do like the idea of maybe increasing the pet drop. I don't know if I want unique.
Well, like nothing. I just mean the concept. I don't care like how they go about it. Like just the concept of like them having a hard mode variant of bosses that would be like a new spin on the boss.
What I wouldn't mind, I don't know if I'd want more mechanics, because then I'd rather them save their mechanic ideas for different bosses, but maybe making the fights just they have more health, they hit harder. Maybe with the Calphites right now she spawns the Calphite workers, right? The little guys.
Yeah.
So maybe instead of spawning those, she spawns like the warrior ones or the soldiers, whatever the big guys are.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
The Guardians.
But like the way that boss works is that sometimes you just get unlucky and you go through a full inventory and you barely make it on easy. And it happens like quite a bit.
Yeah.
Where like you just get chunk 30s back to back because, they're at 50-50 for the special attack, right?
Yeah.
And then it's going to hit you and it can hit you 30. Yeah.
It's a cool idea. I don't know how they would do it unless they have like a lever that you pull it and then teleport to it or something. But I don't know if I want them to do like more mechanics. Like let's say they wanted to bring out more mechanics to this new hard mode Calphite Queen fight. I'd almost want to say hold those mechanics you'd use for that, bring out a Calphite King fight boss, and then use those mechanics on that so you can make it more fresh.
Yeah. So my main reason why like I thought it would be cool, like, I can totally see like you're using up all the good idea, Jagex, but it also adds to like knowledge through experience, which is all RuneScape. Like there's people that don't ever boss because they've never done a boss, right?
True, yeah.
And they've never done a boss because they don't want to because they've never. It's like that literally like this weird cycle of like you're uncomfortable doing anything because you haven't done it before. So the solution is to not do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oddly enough, like, some of my buddies that refuse to do Theater of Blood, their reasoning is like, well, like, man, I don't know, everyone else has done it, everyone else is good, I don't know what I'm doing, and it's just gonna be an awful, like, month of me getting carried.
Yeah.
So I'm just not gonna do it, and you're like, dude, okay. I'm not saying, like, recycle mechanics, but, like, I would hate to think that fighting Ulm every mechanic involved with fighting Olm will never be used again because they've used it once before. You know what I mean?
Yeah, obviously you can still pull some of the mechanics, but you don't want to like have it where it starts looking, every boss has this similar don't step in the poop. Don't, or you know what I mean? They start having...
Well, that's unique to like Cerberus and Olm right now, and like some stuff in Theater of Blood.
Yeah.
But like they're all done in like very different ways. There's like trails, random splotches, patterns.
Maybe what you could do is like put on their drop table, on the regular drop table, some sort of token or gem, and then once you get that, you can come back and use it on the boss, and then it transforms them into the hard mode boss.
Yeah, whatever, their layer or something, right?
It's an interesting idea.
I think it would be neat because they could experiment with certain ideas, give some nice variation, and then also just like make some of it it just like kind of spices up, like, you know, fuck, I have to go kill some KBDs.
Yeah,
that's so boring. I should just go kill brutal black dragons. It's more money, but I can get a pet or a dragon pickaxe. So fuck it, I'll chance it. Didn't get anything, of course. That's gonna happen, like on average, like 400 more times. You know what I mean? Like, that's going to be the thought process, like at least 400 times.
Yeah, like with the token one, you could maybe start putting on this global unique boss drop table, but only on hard modes. Then you have to use a unique on it so that it drops. Because that's the problem, is a lot of people might look at it and go, well, what's the point for it? Increased pet drop. And you're like, but it's like 10 times harder. And like with Calfight, I'm just burning through food. It's hard to say.
I just like the idea of like having a way to kill like a boss again, like older bosses or just a boss in general, but like now it's kind of like take 2 of it. It's like, you know, level 2 of that boss is the next step, where like it just adds like a little bit more flair, like PVM. And I guess like I don't think it would ever happen.
I do know that RuneScape 3 has this.
Yeah.
And they have like different uniques that drop on it, but
yeah, but they have their max guild. That's kind of why it works better. Because you can like teleport straight to boss rooms with the max guild or max guild portals. But I don't know. I just kind of thought like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting. You could even give them like a legendary boss cape where you have to kill one of every hard mode boss or something. It's hard to say, but that's the thing. You want to be able to give some sort of cosmetic or something, but you start dropping in uniques, and it's like, I don't know. Uniques are working weird in old school RuneScape right now. Yeah, tier 75.
Personally, I don't care what the rewards are. I would just like the option.
Yeah.
Just like, even if they're like, hey, we're going to probably change these at some point. Okay. We're using you guys as guinea pigs right now. Okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's a hard one because do they want to allocate resources to do this when they're like, we might as well just make stronger bosses with different uniques, but
yeah,
it's an interesting idea.
My main question is, how many bosses can you lock behind Slayer? Because we're running pretty low on Slayer levels.
99, and then you start looking at other things.
Yep.
But anyways, I think that's about all of the news and all that fun stuff to talk about, so we'll move right on to our lore. This week, we're continuing with the Slayer bosses, and we'll touch briefly on the origins of the Kraken boss. A relative of Neve, Leave McCracken, is an infamous pirate who's wanted for murder, armed robbery, and flag desecration across several kingdoms on Gielinor. She used what is now known as the Kraken Cove as her hideaway on the mainland. Neve had asked her to capture various creatures and hold them within the cave. Leave began to bring back water fiends, cave krakens, and lastly, the Kraken itself. While doing so, it destroyed and killed her crew, leaving her without a ship, and now she stays near the Kraken Cove in hiding. We don't know much about the Kraken itself, but it is a monster of myth, one that has many stories told of it hiding within the waters and destroying ships that passed by. A little shorter lore section this week, but next week we will continue on with the Slayer bosses of old school RuneScape. And now that we're back, quick stroll to that grand exchange. Cha-ching! I didn't get a sound effect yet. It's coming. Stay tuned.
Yeah, one day.
Anyways, our first thing we were going to talk about is our Audible trial thing we got going on. So you can get a free month and a free audiobook if you go to audibletrial.com/wild. They have an assortment of different audiobooks that you can check out. If you don't want to read and you want to listen to something instead, you might want to see what's going on there. So audibletrial.com/wild. But if you also want to support the show directly, you can do that at Patreon by going to patreon.com/thewildernesspodcast. Our supporter of the week is Julius Schmid. I know I pronounce some of these names wrong sometimes, so I'm very sorry. Yeah, thank you for your support. We greatly appreciate it. If we had like V-Bucks or something we could give away, you know what I mean? Totally would do that. Or some W-Bucks. I think we talked about that last week.
Yeah.
But that's, don't know how to do that. Don't really know how to get our own podcast money. Don't even know what you would do with it.
Cryptocurrency. We'll just make one up.
Okay, it's a new crypto.
Wild coin.
Wild coin. That's pretty good.
Based off the current episode, so every week goes up $1.
Yeah, listen for the Wild Boys sound effect to receive your chance at getting a cryptocurrency.
No. 25 characters, letters, like V496329222VVBBB. I can only think of V's and B's right now.
So lots of B's.
And then you type that in, and then you can buy them directly off of us. But every episode it goes up $1.
Oh, that's good. So
you know
get in on it now. And if you do it at, let's say,
321.
Yeah, you'd
now.
have to do it now. You can text in to receive it, but you'll get it at half price.
And no one texted,
Yeah,
so
no
you're gonna have to spend $110 per coin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true.
How would this? You buy a coin, we'll give you a bond.
Yes.
Is that real trading?
Yes. We're in hot water right now.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. By the time you are able to maybe purchase these Wild Bucks,
We'll both be banned.
Yeah, we'll both be banned, but it's also going to be like episode like 700 of the Wilderness podcast, a show dedicated to all made up cryptocurrencies.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Behind bars.
Behind
Dilz and
good.
Deagin behind bars.
There's actually a podcast I listen to that's all done in jail. So maybe we can get to that prison, and maybe we can do. Although someone got stabbed recently there, so it's kind of sketch.
You can people sneak in phones all the time, so you can still like play RS in prison.
I'm not shoving that up there.
No, you just pay someone to
I got
do
an
it.
OtterBox. It's got grip. It ain't coming out.
Obviously, you ain't pulling that thing out. Trust me.
Please don't try. So yeah, thank you, Julius Schmidt, for your support. We also got a new addition to Wild Boys, none other than Special Bong.
Nice.
Love it. So welcome to the Wild Boys Club. Thank you to you as well, and thank you to everyone who supports the show, and thank you to everyone who's listening right now, or maybe you listened to it in the past, but you're not going to hear this thank you, but thank you for listening to other ones.
Hope you enjoy your next day, which tomorrow will be December 23rd. It's almost Christmas. Buy a gift. That's just for the people listening.
On the 22nd, right?
Like right now it's the 22nd for them.
Right.
And
So that's a very specific demographic.
Yeah, well, one person can listen to this and like,
holy shit.
What's even going to be creepier is they're going to look at their window and they're going to see me duck, but they don't know what I look like, so they're just going to say, like, dude, some guy was watching.
How did this podcast pop up on my my phone? This isn't American politics.
This is a callback to a while ago in our show, where I had those random pictures come up on my phone, and then we were, like, looking them up.
What random pictures?
They're like pictures that an app would would put in your gallery.
And I started looking to see where it came from, and it was like someplace in Norway, I thought.
Yeah.
And it was someone's actual house. If you still have those, let me know, because I wanted to write that in to reply all that other podcast I listen to. And get them to figure it out, because that would make a sweet episode. I mean, and then I can get on there and just
Wild podcast, Wild Boys.
Yeah, Wilderness podcast. And then they'll probably cut it out because none of this is done live. Podcasting is such a fake way of entertainment. It's all just pretended to be live, and then it's just chopped up.
Yeah, like we never do it anyways, so
it's all completely scripted. We have a paper right here.
I'm literally reading the next line is saying I'm actually reading this next line. Like it's extremely meta joke.
We're getting meta. Yeah.
Anyways.
And now we move on, because that's what it says right here. It's hard, because when we want to ramble, and that was all written there, even the sound effects.
Yeah.
Anyways, going back to our tournament that we held on the weekend here was the 2018 Wild Cup Connect 4 tournament, where we had a bunch of people show up and face off in a best 2 of 3 Connect 4 tournament. Mm-hmm. And I ended up streaming it. Unfortunately, the video didn't save. Don't know how to get them to even save, but some people were asking me about that, and they're gone. So that's all. It's all in the past now.
You sure?
I think so. I go and check, and it says no video. And I don't know how to pull it up. I don't
You
know if
didn't
there's a
enable
setting.
save broadcasts?
I don't know. I just kind of went on there and struggled to get the stream going, but
Oh.
got it working in the end. But it was a lot of fun, so a quick thank you to Chick for giving me the idea of having this Connect 4 tournament. He also donated a Bond 2 giveaway to to one of the winners. Shout out to RIP Ethan for also donating a Bond to give away to the best Fashionscape.
Who won that?
The Fashionscape?
Yeah.
That was a Daryl Ryan.
Nice.
The bit of an old schooly look. That doesn't make any sense. But anyways, if you saw it, you'd totally understand. And also, thank you to Magpie, because he helped me shoutcast that as well. He jumped on our Discord, and we both kind of did a play-by-play as to what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was a lot of fun. I definitely do want to do another one of those in the future. I was talking with Chick. He mentioned maybe a trivia night one evening. We can have like a little trivia where we give away something. Yeah, the winners of that tournament. So we had Bart Skampson taking first place. Now, this is going to sound completely rigged. I probably should have saved the thank yous to the end. But Magpie came second place, the shoutcaster. And then Ireland came third place.
Wow, and Magpie beat him again. No, you did. And wow, and comes in second.
But it was, it was a lot of fun. So definitely want to do another Connect 4 tournament or maybe checkers.
Sorry, who came in third?
Ireland.
Oh, nice.
Not the country. It was a player.
Oh.
Maybe it was the country. Maybe Ireland has like a Ireland plays RuneScape. You know how Twitch has that with
Yeah.
Twitch plays Pokemon? So maybe like the whole country.
We'll have like a
environment.
Wild World Cup.
Yeah.
Countries fight off.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So that
Face
might be
off. That was the word. Not fight off. Well, they can fight off each other, I guess, depending on whose country. Anyways.
Then they go into the wilderness and get all that blood, but that bad blood out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would love to do another one of those. Could be checkers next time or something, but it turned out to be a lot of fun. And yeah, possibly a trivia night in the future. And yeah, gave away 7 bonds in it and the 2 that were donated, but because of the help with our Patreon stuff, we were able to have a bigger prize pool. That's awesome. So I do really appreciate that. Yeah, stay tuned for some more information.
Mm-hmm.
But we do have some ways you guys can keep in contact or hang out with us in game. Our clan chat is WildCC. Our Twitter is @TheWildernessRS. Facebook is facebook.com/TheWildernessPodcast. We also have a Facebook group attached to that. You can probably find that. Our email is thewilderness.podcast@gmail.com, where you can send us whatever stories or questions you have, and we will read them out and talk about them on the show. And there's also a Discord, which is posted on both Twitter and Facebook. But if you have trouble getting in there, let me know. We will get you in there.
Mm-hmm.
So that is basically everything. Thank you to everyone who showed up for that event and everyone who helped out, everyone involved. And that about does it for us over here. Oh, well, actually, Deagin, you have your stuff, right?
Twitch for Deagin.
There it is. And if you want to follow mine, it's the Dilz.
Mm-hmm. I have a song request.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Tommy requested the Forelorn Homestead, the Hasidious song.
Ooh, Forelorn Homestead. Perfect.
Yeah.
So the Forelorn Homestead is a music track that is unlocked at the southern coast of the Hasidious house within the Great Kieren. And this song was composed by, can you guess?
Ian Taylor.
Nope, not this week.
Really?
This one's Ashleigh Bridges, none other than Maud Ash himself.
Wait, his full name is... Wait, what?
Maud Ash's name is Ashleigh.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh. I thought Ash like an alias or something.
Short form.
Huh. Today I
Interesting.
learned.
Yeah, today I learned. Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening. And till next week, we get to triple ones. 111.
Yeah.
Cool. How exciting.
Make a wish.
Do you make wishes on the
Well, 1111.
Oh, right. That is or still is a thing. That
Yeah.
was or still is a thing. Okay. Well, anyways, guys, thank you. And we'll catch you next week.
Yeah, have a good one.
Bye-bye.